We are Lagos Talks 91.3. Let's talk.
Good morning, Lagos Talks 91.3 FM. This is Adu and the Guru. We are late for about 10 minutes. Again, my apology. I hope these apologies are not becoming too many for just one time. Next week, I will give that apology because the reason specifically for today's delay will not be reoccurring next week. Now, last week, I did a good advertising of my guest, and I said in my broadcast, the preview, that the historical perspective, the periscope, the knowledge Dropbox will not be coming because everything we shall be hearing from that guest I announced last week will be enough to take care of historical perspective, periscope, and knowledge Dropbox. Because the person I advertised last week is an embodiment of knowledge, it's an embodiment of anything that is periscoping. Don't mind that language, periscoping, and of course, historical background. Of course, I apologized last week that, of course, exigency of duty took her away far into the north. I didn't mention specifically where she was. It's my pleasure today that she has turned up to come and respect this invitation. On that, I will appreciate her. I will bring her to the microphone in a moment. I'm talking of, okay, let me not mention her name for now. But let us rush over a few things according to our tradition. But one thing I will tell you straight away is that the menu today will be stepped down. I'm stepping them down. Because the presence of the person I have with me in the studio is larger than the menu put together. For that reason, I'm stepping them down. Of course, what we would have been talking about today would have been Baba Olusegun Kikiola Obasanjo, former military head of state, former presidential tenor, who just 2 days ago on Saturday was regretting. Was he regretting?
Well, recounting, maybe.
No, many newspapers put it as regretting that the June 12th election were annulled by the man who was never head of state but president of Nigeria, IBB. When I read it, I went through it and I read it 3 times. Then I told myself, how come we have deceits that sometimes come to us as leaders? Okay, we have what type of leaders? Why would Obasanjo, of all people in this world, be saying he regrets it, that it was a bad belly, using his language, bad belly?
Oh, yes, bad belly.
A bad belly. Why would he be saying that? When he was the major person that fought everything that was within his power to make sure that Abiola never emerged as president. He even traveled to South Africa. He was making the statement that Abiola wasn't the best president, wasn't the messiah Nigeria was expecting. Why come you now say you regret it, that it was bad belly? Bad belly from who? Bad belly from you, Papa Obasanjo.
Hindsight has a way of making things look better.
I know you are an oracle. I know you are a philomena. I know you are a principality of power in Nigeria. But all the same, however you put it, it was wrong. Of course. Lieutenant General Dambazo, some people had come to say that he was the sponsor of Boko Haram. But all this I will step down today for the exigency of what I have at hand. Because it is not always that one will have the glory of having the person with me now. I am not greeting you yet. I will bring you to the microphone. But yes, Friday was our own director of marketing here, Amira Obiokoye. Friday was her birthday. Madam, you did not invite me anyway. So, but that is not a big deal. My cake you must give to me. Madam Amira Obi Okoye, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. We have a very short time, otherwise. Okay, tomorrow I will play you music. I will play you music. I do. Remind me tomorrow. I'll play her music.
Okay.
The historical perspective, I'm stepping down. Because what I have with me is more, larger than a lifetime historical perspective presentation. So let me not bother that. Ladies and gentlemen, here, sitting directly live with me in this studio, 91.3 FM, you can see, because of her presence, I almost forgot the name of it, is the managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, Hadiza Bala Usman. Madam, you are welcome.
Good morning, all. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for coming.
It's my pleasure. It's my honor to be here.
Because you have more than 1 million reasons why you could go. You could be called upon in Abuja. You may In fact, I knew there was a meeting you were supposed to be attending today by 10.
Yes, absolutely. We have commitments as CEOs of government agencies, but indeed it's my honor and privilege to be here today to interact with yourself and the audience. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very, very much. I appreciate you. We have millions of followers. We have over 12 million followers online on this program. And we are being listened to all over the world as we talk. But I appreciate that you made time to come. Thank you very much once again. I'm most grateful.
Thank you for having me. It is my pleasure and honor, as I said.
Where do we start from? Let me put it like this. Please listen to this for a few minutes. The Nigerian Ports Authority came into existence in 1955. It started operation 1st April 1955. It's subject to the Act Cap 155 of the Act of Parliament of 1954 that established the Nigerian Ports Authority. And the Nigerian Ports Authority have been there until one of the public relations managers, late Samuel Okpesowu, renamed Adelaga, but they abbreviated the father's name Okpesowu, coined it as the Nigerian Ports Authority is the gateway to the country's to Nigerian economy, and it has stuck there. And the Nigerian Ports Authority have done too much in stabilizing the Nigerian economy. And of course, whoever that is presiding at the Nigerian Ports Authority in the beginning started as general manager until became a managing director. Somehow there was an incursion at the time that brought the name executive chairman. I remember Lieutenant General Muhammad Balarabe Haladu came in as executive chairman, and when a board was to be formed, headed by General Martin Adamo, he now stepped down or stepped aside to become managing director, and chairman of the board were there. And of course, I remember the first general manager of the Nigerian Ports Authority, the DRE, from Warri End. And there have been very many of them. But whoever that is presiding there, I want to say this, I want to place it on record, has the enormous responsibility to stabilize the country's economy. Because the Nigerian Ports Authority has the authority by the Act, which was only amended in 1999, that established it to put into force the 26 firms in the shipping industry. I don't know. There's no historical perspective today, but I don't know. I keep seeing myself being driven into that historical.
Well, because history
because I have the embodiment of historical perspective. Of course, you will pardon me. The first port, of course, we have Apapa there now, the premier port. The stone laying were brought from Quarry somewhere in Abeokuta to go to Eastmost Signal Station after Takwa Bay, where they are encouraged because the community just bordered the Atlantic Ocean there. And it has been in existence doing very, very good work until there was somehow congestion that was manufactured by the agency of the war. The ships will not even get to Nigeria. It was for that reason that something like SEN was introduced in those days. The ship will be somewhere in Europe, and they will log in that they've arrived, they've dropped alcohol in the high sea that brought congestion and what they call later cement armada. Until the federal government appointed some people to clear the port. I think it was led by a captain who later now became a collier, a lieutenant collier from Kano. I may forget his name now, but I will remember him very soon. But that's not the issue now. Where we are going is that the Nigerian Ports Authority has served well. The NPA, you have the ports, the premier port, which is Apapa. You have the Tinker port that came into being when Yaradua was number 2 man to Obasanjo. Before they took some people from there, like Raymond Dokpesi, who came as a PA to Bamanga Tuko. Obasanjo brought Raymond Dokpesi from Poland when he met him negotiating on behalf of the Poland government. To Obasanjo to the president of Poland. That person is black. I want to know who he is. Obasanjo can always break protocols. He broke protocol that day. There where the man introduced himself as a Nigerian, there he took permission. He said, this discussion cannot go on. When my son is sitting at your side to discuss against me, he said, you must cross over. This is how Obasanjo brought Raymond Dokpesi from Poland, where he picked his PhD in all these things. Then he went like that. You have Tinker Port, you have Apapa Port. We can say we have Ikorodu Port, which is done out of non-economic benefit. It was a gift to an individual. As Sapele was equally gifted to an individual. Sapele to Senator David Dafinone. Ikodu to Gusoya. Because for a ship to go to Ikorodu port to either pick cargo or drop cargo, it has to pass under Eco Bridge, Kata Bridge, and the Third Mainland Bridge. And there is no ship that could go under those bridges with the mast. And the cost of bringing down the mast is as high as the cost of building the ship. So it became an exercise in futility just to patronize individuals, which was one of those, I would say, foolish decisions being taken by Nigerian governments from time immemorial. Okay, the Sapeleon was returned to the Navy. I don't know who the one in here was returned to, but they are there. Then they keep creeping. You have new port in Warri, you have the old port in Warri, but with the usual problem that from Bernard Island, you must get the natives to navigate the vessel into port. Then you have the water break at Escravos that is depriving all these things. Then you have the old port of Port Harcourt, which was reconstructed after the war by W. Biney, a shipping company that came to do that. You have the light terminal, you have the ocean terminal. And just last year, was it last year or beginning of this year, one of the biggest ships that will ever come to Nigeria came and brought how many TEUs? And it was a very good thing, which shows that we have a port to handle such things. We have the Calabar port, which was constructed and built, which was meant to serve the north. But then, if you look at the roads and 2 or 3 bridges before you come to Kasila Ala, you will discover that the purpose would be defeated. And the first statistician that operated in that port gave a report that the port, I never knew the time that port paid salary of staff on its own. Money was being channeled from somewhere to pay the salary. And many other things that happened. But madam, you are welcome again.
Thank you very much.
I must congratulate you because you are not only beautiful, you have enough brain. And at your age, you have achieved much. I established the record of celebrating those who achieved. It was for that reason I brought Ijoma, the now managing director of Arise Television. He used to be the editor-in-chief of this day news. I brought her here one day to celebrate her for achievement. So, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Where do we start the story from? Okay, let me move from the unusual to the usual. At that 2011 or so, you contested the election in Katsina State to go to House of Representatives. You could not make it under the CPC. And today you have established yourself as first woman to be this, first woman to be that. You became chief of staff, first woman in Kaduna.
Yes.
And that represented the whole of northern regions.
Yes.
Okay. You became the first female managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority.
Yes.
After your tenure, I know you've gotten a station of tenure. No, it will be renewed. Forget about those going to court. If I were in the president's shoe, I will renew your tenure. I will renew it because we are doing very, very well. I'm not saying
the vote of confidence.
Oh yes, I'm not saying this because we are here. Now, after that tenure would have expired, are you going to contest as governor of Katsina State?
No, I'm not doing any such. I'm not going for any elected position in 2023.
You are not?
No, I'm not.
But 2011, you attempted.
Yes, I did. In 2011, I contested for House of Representatives to represent Misao Matazu Federal Constituency in Katsina State. I didn't win the election, but it introduced me into politics. And I understood what was required and what it entailed. Fast forward now, I believe, as it relates to legislative and executive, I believe I'm more of an executive person as opposed to legislative right now in my life. And of course, with executives, there are not that many executive positions that are available for women to contest for elective positions. So I'm quite
So the trajectory has changed.
Yes.
You now saw yourself not more in the elective, but the executive.
Yes.
Which appointment would you want to be seeking for when, as the Nigerian Ports Authority, this is my own assessment. The managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, I have always been saying this for years. I came into the Nigerian Ports Authority as a reporter when Bamaga Tuko was the general manager. And I've been saying that the managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority is more than 20 governors put together.
Don't let the governors turn on my case.
All right. Let us now move to some very key issue. The problem in the Nigerian Ports Authority today started ever before you thought of even going to contest that election. We are talking of the gridlock. As we talk now, it is terrible. And my knowledge tells me the gridlock is supposed to, it's not the responsibility of the managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, because we are talking of federal roads. We are talking of farm tanks, which can only be approved by the federal powers. Of course, Lagos State will give right of way, issue certificate of occupancy as the 1979 land use decree it is. You came in, maybe I should put it this way. The problem of Nigerian Ports Authority and gridlock started when Olusegun Obasanjo came to power as elected president. That must be 1999. He decided that the ports are better operated from combination of both private and government, which was a very good idea. And they were concessionaire, which was a very good idea. I didn't use the language sold out. No, concessionaire, which was a very, very good idea. Because commercialization of it, other Hamza failed. So, but when this thing was being carried out, there was an error. Maybe it was rushed. Because every port constructed, there are places for car parks, there are places for trailer parks, there are places for solid cargo, all this. But when the concessionary took place, all those were given out. Without giving consideration, where will this vehicle now be? Which introduced a new dimension, bring trailers by the roadside and Kwanko. And most of the trailers there today, they have no business there. Some mechanic have turned the road to, and everything failed. Then you came in. You inherited this. You inherited this mess. Okoji Iweala visited Tinkan Port. The only person that tried a little was Fashola, who created an inner road at Tinkan Port to pass through the administrative block in front, come by the flour mill at the end, then you come to Liverpool. Now, you took the bull by the horn. You introduced what they call A2. I don't know. I don't understand A2 beyond is A2, meaning orderly. Something orderly. A2 is Yoruba language, if I'm right. How did you arrive into the creation of that app? How did you arrive there?
We felt that there was a need for an electronic system to manage the inflow and outflow into the port. We realized that human intervention creates an avenue for extortion across all agencies that participate in the control of traffic into the port. So deploying an electronic colloq will remove that, and there will be clarity on the readiness of the port to receive the cargo, as it were. So what we seek to do is to provide an avenue where transporters will log in, determine the readiness of the ship, determine the readiness of the terminal, and then a ticket to be generated for them, which would give them access into the port. So the scheduling of the inflow into the port and the outflow will be done through that electronic colloq, meaning stopping people on the road to keep asking them for such and such would be eliminated. So that way, that extortion will be gone. Can take a maximum of 100, 200 containers every day of export cargo. And with that, there's an understanding of that volume, and then we can now call upon you. That is one of the aspects of the scheduling and E2. The other leg to it is having trucks remain in truck parks. I think this is an integral part of sanitizing the port corridors, meaning that all trucks must be housed and parked within a trailer park outside of the port corridors. And they will only be called upon when they are ready for their cargo to go into the port. So that removes you. If you are on the road, you cannot...
You have no business on the road.
You can't log on into the ETO. So the ETO would only recognize you if you are physically parked in a truck park.
Okay, please hold it, madam. Yes. Because as a village man and as a bushman, this technicality are throwing me off balance.
Yes.
The ETO is connected to holding bay. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, it's connected to, we have designated and approved trailer parks and holding bays, which allows linkage to the port.
So you cannot access it when you're on the road unless you are in those designated areas.
You have to be in the designated truck parks for you to access it. Of course, in our usual manner, the trailer parks that we have certified are now issuing the ETO while the trucks are outside. trying to defeat the mechanism. So this is what I mean about people always trying to circumvent the process to create. So the trucks are now outside. They would go into the truck park, go and generate the ticket, and come back on the road and use the e-collab. And with such trucks, we don't allow it. In fact, we have delisted some of the truck parks that are doing that.
Okay.
And we have had them, they need to install CCTV cameras for us to view. If you, as a truck park, have 100 trucks that you have logged on to say that they're in your truck parks, our ETO and our ICT people would view your truck park to confirm that you have those true CCTV, that those 100 trucks are actually parked inside.
They are parked there. Okay.
Inside.
Okay.
They are not on the road.
Okay.
So that is what we're doing now to ensure that there's compliance. So for every system, you see, there are ways with which people try to always beat the system and create an avenue of shortchanging what it is that has been deployed. So that's the one hand where they're designated truck parks. Each of those truck parks also have the type of trucks that type of cargo calling there. You'll see that export cargoes are so designated in a particular truck park. Other types of cargoes are all designated in a particular truck parks. So these are the things that we seek to do. In addition, another part of it that our field consignees will be excited about is the issue of the empty container holding bay. I'm sure you're aware of the timeline with which consignees are required to return empty containers to the port. And if you don't return within that period, your deposit is held by the shipping company.
Yes.
So we have also mandated that the shipping companies are responsible for taking the empty containers to the port. So what you do as a consignee is go and drop your empty container in their designated holding bay and collect your money and go your way. So the shipping company...
It is the duty now of the shipping company.
It's their duty. They would now log on to the ETO, arrange for the scheduling of when the ship arrives that is ready to go with the empty containers, then they can go into the hold. In the minds of a lot of Nigerians, they always believe there's a shorter cut. There's a way we can circumvent the system.
That's good.
So we must make them see that that system cannot be circumvented, and circumventing it will create a sanction for you. When you think your truck gets to the port, you will turn you back. You can't get into the port.
Okay.
So that are one of the important things that we're doing to just insist and maintain the structure of the ETO up until it sinks into the minds of transporters and truckers that this is the only way you can get into the port. And any activity outside of what is being designated within the ETO, you will not gain access.
Okay. Madam, I have a saying here that you don't change a winning team. No coach in this world would change a winning team. Now, there was a day we were talking of the National Assembly, where you talk of the overblown allowances because the salary of a senator is 700,000 naira, but at the end of every month, he goes away with about 30 million. It's overblown. So somebody calling to ask, how do we solve this problem? Why can't we make the law? Then I asked the person, if you make the law, where are you passing the law through? He said the National Assembly. I said, okay. Will somebody be willing to change? What is your strength to see ETO coming back so soon and having a stand and the financing?
Yeah, as I said, ETO is operational, so it's not coming back, it's here.
Okay.
We continue with...
starting off vigorously.
Yes. It is. We're continuing with deployment. As I said, is to do with ensuring that there's compliance, showing people you can't beat the system, and continue to educate the actual owners of the cargo on what is required, to actually educate the stakeholders on the procedures and enforcement, so that they understand that there's no turning back. This system is here to stay. These respective handshakes with Nigerian Customs Service, with the terminal operators, strengthens the capacity
the
of the
handshake
ETO.
with the Nigerian Customs Service, when do you expect that to take off?
Well, we started discussions last week. We're going to continue, but it would happen. The e-custom system would happen. Let's not be skeptical about that.
I believe, I'm asking, is it the Nigerian Customs Services?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I thought we were talking of Ghana Customs Services. Okay.
We will. And having that handshake would enable us have that clarity when you have ticked everything before you are able to generate the ticket, which means that is the only time you're able to leave the designated truck park.
Okay. What next in your agenda of reformation in the ports?
Well, we are anxious
because you have another 4 years ahead of you. All things being equal, and by the grace of God, and God will enable you to do the next 4 years. What
Amen.
Next?
We are looking to strengthen the utilization of the eastern ports. For example, One, you referenced the larger vessel that called in One last year. This was a trial call to see the capacity. We are working to expand the One container terminal footprints in that area and looking to see how cargo can be moved from Onne to the final destination. Because with cargo, it is more to do with where the final destination is.
Yeah.
So if we take it to Onne, destination would be Onitsha. How do you get that cargo to Onitsha? If destination is Aba, how do you get that cargo to Aba? So these are the things that we've been working on. We've had barge movements. Barge containers had moved from Onne to Onitsha. A successful trial was done where those containers were delivered, and those are the means with which we are assiduously working to make that area attractive. Also, the road networks. There is a East-West Road that is under the Ministry of Niger Delta.
And yeah, that one that the contract was awarded 40 years ago by Shehu Shagari.
So that
and the construction is still on.
So we have written to the notify the Ministry of Niger Delta. That is a key road network that would make the port viable, because if you take your cargo to a port location, in your mind it is, how does my cargo get from that port to my final destination?
Yes.
So how easy is it from Onne to get to where I want my cargo? If the road is bad, there's no rail connection, there's no barge movement, then you will now come back to Lagos. So the idea is to ensure that those linkages are seamless and you're able to move your cargo out of the port location. So those are the things that we're seeking to do. Also, last 2 weeks ago, there was a movement from Calabar Port, export cargo, cocoa cargo, a huge tonnage.
I was coming to that. Go
yes,
ahead.
yes,
Tell me something about that.
Yes. The Calabar Port was used. The Export Promotion Council was there. Segun Ololo was in Calabar to flag that off. A large vessel was sailed out of Calabar for exportation of cocoa, and that was very exciting. Sorry?
Large vessel?
No, large vessel, yeah.
Large vessel from Calabar?
Yes. So the draft...
cocoa.
Yes. So
I will ask you a few questions, madam.
Yeah. So the draft limitation is for 6-meter draft, and that vessel accommodated the 6-meter draft for it to come into Calabar and pick up the cocoa and leave. In addition, you mentioned the challenge, which I have also been speaking to, on the connection of Calabar Port to the northern region, northern part of the country.
Yes.
Our Ministry of Works has awarded the contract for the rehabilitation of the Ecom Bridge, and I believe it should be completed soon. That is the most important. So it doesn't allow for articulated trucks to pass through. They have awarded the contract, and I believe they should be almost completing it, which would now make Calabar Port viable for utilization within the northeast and north central part of the country.
Okay.
So recognizing that export cargo were moved from Calabar, and with our possible successful completion of Ecom Bridge, so you'll see that will become more viable.
I will be very, very glad that this will happen in my lifetime. I'll be very, very glad, madam.
We've had also wheat importation through Calabar.
Okay,
flat bottom vessels to Calabar.
I will take you up, therefore,
please,
because the Calabar issue.
Yes.
I did not hear it from the Nigerian Ports Authority, but I read it where the export
Promotion Council.
Our son was utilizing it. If my knowledge of the Nigerian ports, okay, listener, let me break away to say here. Shipping operation started in Nigeria in the year 1472. The Portuguese arrived, and it was in Forcados. The Portuguese retreated. The Portuguese were the first European to arrive. There was no Nigeria then. This part of sub-Sahara Africa. And of course, Captain Thomas Wedam was the first British to anchor in Lagos. And he came. He traveled to the hinterland for months, almost a year. He returned back, and when they were coming back, it was Bight of Benin, from where Ugoto trade was established for pepper before slavery came in. These are just a few things about shipping. So shipping operation, as a matter of fact, started in Nigeria back to 1472. Then that's the amount. If the shipping operation in Nigeria is properly harnessed, it could generate as much as 20 trillion naira per annum. We wouldn't need any other thing. But it is not. It is not. Everything about shipping operation, God over blessed Nigeria. So we must thank Mother. But now, that quantity of cocoa was exported from Calabar. I was going to. I had not really, because if I had, I probably would have been assessed Awolowo now to tell me which route. Cocoa is not manufactured. Cocoa is not a product of that part of Nigeria, of the south. It is product of southwest.
West, yes.
So, no, I'm not posing the question to you. Please don't answer me.
Yes.
But I want to believe somebody's hearing and will tell her,
yes.
How did the cocoa now get from southwest?
It must have been viable for the exporter to use Calabar. He must have run his numbers to see how it was easy for him to use it.
Are you asking for him?
No, I'm saying that evidently for him to choose to go there, it must have been viable. Nobody would want to operate at a loss or take his cargo through a roundabout journey just to prove a point. It must have been viable for them to use that location.
It could as well be that that quantity was never exported from Calabar. I could make up a story, because operationally, how did the cocoa get of that quantity get to Calabar before export?
Well, most probably they used trucks because there's no real connection.
That's where.
Yes.
Then where the roads that the trucks will pass through to get there?
Because you see the Ecom Bridge. I'm answering because the Ecom Bridge is linkage to northeast part of the. So there must be a connection from Calabar to the southwest, the origin of the cocoa.
No, the southwest, I can tell you the road.
Yes.
Because I have done this by road, I've done it by sea, and even the Calabar port is the least dredged.
Yes, it is.
Because $12 million was paid to somebody who is very, very big in government today. And it was not done. EFCC was going after the person. When the person became a governor a few days ago, he wrote his first letter. He wrote to the Ministry of to the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister for Justice, Apapa Malami. He was begging that they should tell EFCC not to ask him questions again. So that place has not been dredged. Okay, like as I said, I'm not putting you on the hot seat. Yes. Everyone will be responsible for their action.
Yeah.
So the issue of cocoa, that quantity, I don't probably believe in it until the man who exported it will sit with me and he will convince me with practicals.
Because he's a renowned exporter, he even has a facility here in Lagos where Nigerian Ports Authority has linked their own facility to the Eto platform.
Of course,
yes.
I quite agree.
Yes.
Now, another thing we'll go to, because time for people to call in, because I will still beg you to sit so that when they call. But any question that we meant to, I will moderate it.
No. I'm open to answer questions.
I know you are fascinated. If you go to the old toll gate, going outside Lagos, heading towards Ibadan, going outside Lagos, old toll gate after Ojota. A few of us commissioned a task force on this. We placed them there for 3 months. 67% of all containers leaving the ports, either Tinkan or Apapa port, are headed to the southeast. And now the roads are terribly bad. The bypass in Benin is another hell. Why, therefore, as the mother of the ports of Nigeria ports, you are more or less the mother of Nigeria, and you are doing your duty very, very well, madam.
Yes, thank you.
What made you think that people prefer to come and take their containers from Lagos as against going through the One port? If they talk of worry, I would agree with it, because the deeper, the bigger ships cannot. Like as I said about the water break and the Belet Island, from where the natives are now higher. But Port Harcourt is not same. Why can't people go to Port Harcourt to receive that?
Okay, as I mentioned to you earlier on regarding the linkage of the port to the final destination of the cargo. So, for example, with One Port, that road, I think it's East-West Road linking the port, that road has been under construction forever. It is a very difficult road for articulated truck to navigate. So that creates a challenge as it relates to moving the trucks from One to the southeast part of the country. We've, as I said, written letters to the Minister of Niger Delta. The Minister has promised to include it in the budget for them to complete it within the shortest period. But I would also speak to an initiative which I would encourage you to invite the DG of Nigerian Inland Waterways Authority to give a larger brief on that. I will speak to him. He's my brother, Dr. George Mogalu.
George Mogalu, okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
He is working on this project, which would move cargo from Lagos to Onitsha. We've held meetings. Nigerian Ports Authority is giving him all the necessary support to do that. And one of the interesting discussions in the meeting was the fact that the bridge, the Southeast Bridge, the second Niger Bridge. So all the items, the cargo that were needed for the construction were moved by barge. So the contractor, Julius Berger, all the things that they needed for the second Niger Bridge were moved from Lagos using a barge.
Okay.
So with that, you should understand that means barge movement from Lagos to Onitsha is possible. It's possible. So Dr. George Bogalu mentioned that to me and said with that he wants to now initiate the process of moving 500 boxes from Lagos to Onitsha.
Okay.
So that would take those number of boxes off the road.
I wouldn't mind going there to look when.
So no, when it's happening, I've also said I'm giving him 110 support. We're part of the task team that are working on it.
Okay.
And I said the day the badge is going, I'm going to go to Onitsha to receive it myself.
I think we'll go together.
We'll go together. So, but I think you need to invite him because it is his initiative.
Yes,
please.
Let me put it on
he has a lot of very excellent ideas on what is needed to utilize the inland waterways, and that initiative is something that he has commenced. He's met with the stakeholders. Nigerian Ports Authority was present. And I think it's such a laudable initiative that Dr. George Mogalu is spearheading, that we should all join hands to support and encourage it. So if the project was able to do that, why can't we commercialize it?
Okay, Madam, thank you very much.
Yes.
The greatest enemy and the only one everlasting enemy we have in studios like this is time.
Yes.
Because we have our time cut off for us. Now, in the next 3 minutes, before the calls start coming in, what is new are we expecting from Hadiza Bala to bring real joy to the shipping community?
Yes. As I mentioned, we are looking to expand the utilization of on-air ports for cargo. We're also looking to deploy our ports community system, which is the IT deployment that would remove human intervention. We're also anxious about concluding the Lekki Deep Sea Port. We're looking at 2022 by second quarter 2022. The Lekki Deep Sea Port would be ready for commercial operations.
Who is the Lekki?
Lagos State government has, I think, maybe 20%. MPA has 5%. We downsized on our percentage. When I came, we had higher stake, and I felt Nigerian Ports should not overstretch itself. It's just a confidence shareholding to show that government is promoting of the initiative, but not for government to invest its money. There's a Tolaram group that are the major shareholders. They also have China Hub or Czech are also now dominant construction and shareholders within the Lekki Deep Sea Port.
What is new?
Badagry Deep Sea Port, also we have the promoters that are anxiously pushing for that to come on stream. So we have this Ibom Deep Sea Port. So these are the initiatives. Lekki, Ibom, Badagry are coming on stream. As I mentioned, that is the future in terms of shipping, because if you do not have a draft of 15, 16 meter draft, then you would not be able to have larger vessels calling into your country. And with the economies of scales, those are the type of vessels that are being manufactured now, and those are the vessels that are coming. Your country will become a transshipment hub if you do not have. So which is why we're pushing to have this 3 deep sea ports coming on stream by end 2022, 2023.
Okay, madam. Thank you very much. There are too many questions, but we cannot just unravel them one day, because I was going to ask the question that the ease of doing business in the ports are signed by an executive order.
Yes.
Did he take into consideration the cost of doing business? Is it only this? No, you can't answer it now because time is really short. Now, there are too many questions, which means that I will never come asking for you to come here again within at least the next 6 months.
I'm available to come anytime.
But my first name is Oliver Twist.
No problem.
I will come again to ask of you.
Yes.
But now, take your seat, relax, because I'm going to open the line so that people can call it.
All right, then.
Please, help me out.
All right, sir. So the numbers to call if you want to participate, 0809-234-5913, 0809-222-0913. and 0809 191 3913. Please turn off your radio when you call. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Morning, please.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Guru. Good morning.
I salute you, please.
Madam Bala, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, the question I want to ask is all these deep sea ports that are coming up, what about the one for Bonny?
Yes.
Then secondly, the distance from Lagos to Onitsha, is not farther than the distance from One to Onitsha. So why not more those items that came from Julius Berger and others, why didn't they come through on airports and the bus taking them down to Onitsha? That would have been easier and shorter. The distance would have been shorter.
Thank you.
Okay, yes, there is the Bonny deep sea port and also a Warri deep sea port. But the ones that would be coming to fruition within the next 2 years are the ones that I mentioned. Yes, but we're looking to push all of them because that is where we'll make ourselves viable. And regarding the distance, yes, it is. But, with cargo is the choice of the consignee which port he takes his cargo to. So they determined that Lagos was probably better for Julius Berger and they moved it using barges. But the lesson to be learned here is that barges are able to move cargo from Lagos to Onitsha, and also we've done from Onne to Onitsha. So those are operational, and it's important for us to make them commercial so that people are able to use it for movement of their cargo.
Okay, please, when you are calling in, please make it just a minute because the madam is not always will have the privilege of having her.
Turn off your radio.
Okay. Hello.
Good morning.
Morning, please.
Yes, my name is Eugene.
Eugene, you have a minute.
I'm calling from Sulere.
You have a minute, please.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Good morning, the guests, and good morning, everybody in the studio. I want to let her know that within ICOM, Boki, and one other two local government, they have large, good production of cocoa. So I think it's those people that are using that Calabar Seaport.
Thank you so much for that clarification.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much, Eugene. Yeah.
Okay. Do we take messages now?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's start from Twitter now. Twitter has Adegboyega Adedeji. It says, I just want to find out how Madam is able to manage her home and balance it with the sector that is so demanding, being the NPA boss. How does she balance her home?
Oh, okay. We'll talk to you about that later. Go on.
There is work-life balance, which is important. So it's a good question, especially for us women. So I start early and I close at 6 and I focus on home life. That's what I do. It's very important. Thanks for the question.
It now says, why must trailers designed to carry cargoes come from all parts of the country to Lagos ports? Why can't other ports be utilized?
But it's part of what we'll be discussing. Please go to the next one.
Let's
go on Twitter?
on Twitter. Let's take a call. Turn off your radio, please, when you call us. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Morning, please.
This is I want to correct the guru.
Yes, sir.
The error. The cocoa, now Cross River State produces more than the cocoa that two states in Southwest produce.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. They may be producing, but not two times that size, because we'll be following this thing for years. But thank you for your...
Hello?
Thank you.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Good morning. The guru, my voice.
Go ahead.
Also, me go. Yes, I am proud of you.
Thank you.
Now, there's this issue. I listened to you some time ago when this same woman was with you about our report about $3 billion that was borrowed.
Okay.
And she said the money was already in Nigeria.
Okay.
You did not talk about
She
it
did
today.
not put it like that day, and I'm not ready to discuss that one today.
This matter can be properly taken because they also have agency in government that are backing them up. And that's why the effort of government has not been able to yield anything positive since these days. So please, how will you be able to take care of those boys in those areas?
Yes, we have noted their activities more so around the Tinkan Island access area. We have notified the enforcement because part of what we do as it relates to enforcement, it is Lagos State government that does the enforcement, and the attention has been drawn to that, and we will continue to work with them to ensure that sanity is brought in that environment. Thank you so much.
Did you hear that? Thank you. Go ahead.
More calls. Let's take another one. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Mr. Edeme Kelikome. Presenter, great job. And Madam, congratulations on all the achievements.
Dobra.
Very simple comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Onitsha project from Onne to Onitsha and indeed to Lokoja, what plans have been made for the dredging of the Niger and by extension all the way down to Lokoja so that it can become non-seasonal and sustainable and even attract bigger barges and bigger capacity of vessels going in that direction? Thank you very much.
Thanks for the question, Udeme. This should be a question that the NIWA, Inland Waterways Authority, would cover because that area is outside of the Nigerian Ports jurisdiction. Dr. Mogalu, yes. He has a lot of ideas on what he plans to do in that region.
I promise to help me to
I will. Yeah,
Thank
he's
you.
doing such a wonderful work.
Matthew on WhatsApp says, is Gelegele Seaport in Edo State part of the plan of the government?
No, we don't have any
that's
such
private.
record
Private
within
estate.
our
Okay. Still on WhatsApp, David says, hello, the guru. Thank you for bringing in Madam from MPA. Please, I would like to know what is the agency is doing in terms of security of the ports area and also parts of the coastlines.
Okay, thank you for that question. We are actually deploying about 5 vessels to patrol the berths and the channels within the next 1 week. We're handing them over to the Nigerian Marine Police to man these vessels to do sustained patrols in the waterways within the channels and berth. We have increase in the number of stowaways in the last 1 year, which is causing a huge embarrassment for the country with IMO and other such agencies. So Nigerian Ports Authority has deployed those vessels. We've also engaged with Nigerian Navy on providing additional support in terms of the patrol to provide additional coastal security.
Sorry, madam. Are we talking of the Nigerian Navy that ceded security of the channels to a private company at a time or another navy?
Well, you see, this the secure anchorage has been so abolished by the directive of Mr. President, and right now Nigerian Navy is providing that security of anchorage at zero cost. But I would like to mention this. It's quite interesting that the shipping companies are insisting on paying for a security that we've said you shouldn't pay. Yes. So what does that say? There's an anchorage. We've said anchorage has been abolished. You are not supposed to pay anything. We're supposed to secure at zero cost. But these shipping companies are insisting they want to be paying. Yes, so evidently there is some racket going on between the shipping companies and the. So I can't even understand it.
Ask me why would
Please,
that happen? How? I will tell you were almost attacked at the National Assembly.
I was.
If there is a power that could move such talks to the National Assembly to attack with the hope of taking your life, is it the shipping company that will not be given directives?
So even now that it's been abolished, I have told the shipping companies it's abolished. President has given directive. You're going to be secured by Nigerian Navy at zero cost to you.
Don't forget that this thing did not start today.
No.
It started when Aikomu was number 2 man.
Yes.
I don't want to go into historical perspective of that today. Congratulations for surviving that.
That was it was a terrible incident, for people to think they can bully you because, you're trying to do what is the interest of the country, reduce the cost of doing business in the port, and you're subjected to physical attack within a seat of government. National Assembly is a seat of government.
Yes.
I had to petition the Senate President to say, if such is allowed, I will not attend any such public hearing because I need to be protected to present
so
my case.
To carry out your responsibilities.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Uchene on Twitter says has maybe a differing opinion. He says, Madam, why has the MP under you become more difficult despite the ease of doing business?
Well, I'm curious as to what difficult you mean. If we're trying to sanitize the maritime environment and ensure that people are complying to regulations, is that what is being difficult? When people don't want to comply, then they create the idea that we're being difficult. All we seek to do is to ensure compliance across the board on regulatory, legal and regulatory provisions. So no company, is above the law. We're seeking to reduce cost of doing business, and organizations, private sector are refusing to comply. So is that difficult? If that is difficult, then Nigerian Ports Authority under my leadership will continue to do that, because what we seek to do is to reduce cost of doing business, ensure that there's ease of doing business, and in doing that, we will trample on some toes who would now try to change the narrative and make it about being difficult. What is difficult about saying do the right thing? What is difficult about securing a vessel at zero cost to vessel owners? What is difficult in saying a company must pay money to a government coffers? What is difficult about introducing ETO and saying that people need to use an electronic system for trucks accessing the port? What is difficult about that? This is sanitizing, deploying what is required to make the ports more functional for users. So if people are benefiting and you're trying to do the good thing, they now throw the narrative about being difficult. As I mentioned, what is difficult about these things we're seeking to do? Is because people are used to status quo that benefit a few people that put money in their pockets, and that chaos that exists where nobody is, like a no man's land. And then people will throw the narration about what's being difficult about operations.
Thank you for the revelation you made. The shipping companies would prefer to go and pay money when you are secured free of charge. It is because Nigeria had gone too deep into this thing. Let me look at my time. I still have a few minutes, but then let me narrow the few minutes that is left like this. The person talk of securing. She is the managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority. There are institutions that have the mandate to secure. For example, the Nigerian Ports Authority has a full-fledged police command. The first commissioner of police for that full-fledged police command was Gaba Galadima, very, very old man now in Kaduna. I don't know whether you've met him.
No, I haven't.
Okay. Any day I'm going to Kaduna because I pay him homage.
That's regularly. Excellent.
So I will talk to you. Gaba Galadima, he was a deputy commissioner of police before Abdullah Jika came to take over from me. So there is a full-fledged for the ports, for the railways, and all those. That is number one. The Navy is there to manage the waterfront. And of course, we have the Marine Police, which is other command also to manage that. It is not her duty, but she's only the coordinator. And like somebody said, not more difficult, pronounced. Her function, the function of the Nigerian Ports Authority has become more pronounced because somebody came to say, this is what we do. Because the battle of stopping the payment of this, what do you call it now? Securing. It's not an easy battle. It started from the days of Haikomu. I have the narration on my head as I'm talking now. For it to have gone this far, and that is why I reminded you quickly that if somebody could be powerful enough to sponsor talks to come and take your life within the premises of the National Assembly, is it the shipping company that they will not turn around to say, go and say this?
That's
all
a good
right.
point.
One more call.
One more? Are you sure we should do?
It's my watch spot. Okay. Yeah, one more call as a bonus.
30 seconds.
Ugoma.
All right.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Real quick, please.
Okay, my name is Obian. I'm calling from Lagos.
Yes.
All right. I just want to ask Madam Director one question. Is there consideration for the proposal made by former Governor of Imo State, Hakim, on the Imo State seaport, which he did a research on, and it's about 18 nautical miles to the Atlantic Ocean. So is there any consideration for this
Yes.
seaport?
I'm not aware, Obina. I'm not aware of that proposal from Imo State government of developing a port. I'm not aware of it. They can formally send it. They may have sent it before my tenure, but they can resend it.
Even the law of international chef gives you some nautical miles to the port, which was introduced by President Truman when he was president of the United States of America. So maybe that is what you're talking about. I really don't know. But so far, Madam, How much can I appreciate you?
It's for me to appreciate you giving me the platform to explain a little bit of what we've been doing. So it's my honor and privilege to be here.
And because of that, I suspended my knowledge droppers. I suspended my periscope.
Because
I know the person I'm bringing to the studio is embodiment of all this.
I am honored. I hope
we are never disappointed.
I hope the session was worthy of you stepping down.
So thank you very, very much. Listener, thank you very much. Adu, thank you for doing a good job. Our crew member, thank you very much. Ugoma, I'm not utilizing your time because my eyes are still on the watch and it is now I want to overcross. Okay, thank you very much. And of course, we'll be speaking with the managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority for the past 1.5 hours, so to put it, Hadiza Bala Usman. And of course, maybe after 6 months or 9 months, I will start the battle again to see I can bring her back to the studio. We thank you very much. Of course, my Twitter handle is at Godwin_Bwebu, at Godwin_Bwebu, then Godwin Bwebu on Facebook. Then my website is there, www.godwintheguru.com. And of course, my Facebook, my YouTube channel is there. And the telephone number, I switch it off so that nobody will interfere today. I will still give it back to you, 0906-887-0014. And again, my crew members, thank you very, very much for doing a beautiful job.
Yeah.
Uncle Adu, your Lord spiritual interpreter, for doing a very good job. The final thank you come back to you.
Not
Hadiza,
at all. As I said, it's my honor
and
pleasure. And thank you so much for having me here.
Until next week, Monday, you will meet me to here tomorrow and next tomorrow for the Money Digest. But until Monday, please do me a favor. Keep yourself out of trouble. Bye-bye.
We are Lagos Talks 91.3. Let's talk.